Hello, people. I'm here to share with you this one thing that has people choose you. So I am fresh off an interview with Bob Burg. Bob, thank you for being on the show today, for allowing me to interview you for the show that's coming. And what I want to share with all of you is I've seen this now over and over and over again, right? And this is why I've actually in the last year focused my efforts into creating the service that I've created with my marketing agency, right? What we help clients do is produce their own shows. And this is why, because of one of the things that came out of my interview with Bob, and that is this one thing. This one thing is what has people choose you, all things being equal. And that is, you ready? Drum roll. It's relationship. It's connection. When people feel connected to you over somebody else, you might sell the same thing, but when there's connection with you, they choose you. That's how that works. That's how we're wired as human beings. And it's why I created this marketing agency, because what I realized, what I saw, in fact, if you go back in time, one of the things I've done that has produced the most goodwill and the most response back to me is creating a podcast, right? Years ago, probably early on in podcasting, I created a real estate podcast called Real Estate License Roadmap. It's still active today. And I still get messages from people listening to the podcast who say, thank you for this content. Thank you. When Bob's episode comes out, you'll also hear that one of the things Bob says in creating connection is value, right? When we can lead with value, then we create that relationship and that connection. People want to come back for more. And when I created Real Estate License Roadmap as a podcast, it was putting value in a space that wasn't being served. Newly licensed and pre-licensed real estate agents were not being served or taught how to really grow their business. And that's what I created that podcast to do 5-6 years ago, right? And to this day, I still get messages. Now, here's the thing I want you to see, so if it's connection, if relationship and connection is what has people choose you over somebody else, then how do we do that at scale in this digital age, right? Well, the way you do it, so here's how people wrestle doing it. They don't do it well this way, and that is having to do direct to camera, where you stare into a camera and you have to go live all the time, or you have to come up with brilliant things to say in 1 to 2 minutes because people won't watch a video more than 2 minutes, right? And we have all these external pressures to do it right. And what we're missing is people just want to connect with you and a message that matters to them. So what's great about having a show, we're just going to call it a show that you can then turn into a podcast or anything else for that matter. What's great about having a show is that it allows people to connect with you over a topic that would matter to them. And if you do it right, it's a topic that matters to you, right? That's how you can provide value, is by sharing with people some insights around a topic that matters to you that also matters to them. That's how you can create that value. Now, here's what's crazy. People will reach out to me about my podcast, and they speak to me as if they know me, right? There's a connection there. Now, I've never met them. I don't even know who they are, but they've been listening to episode after episode after episode. And for those who listen to your show regularly, become your tribe. And they reach out to you, and they're grateful, and they say great things to you. It is so rewarding when you can actually find your tribe. And that's what I love about having a show. When you create a show that allows you to teach and share and communicate your important message to the world, your important work in the world, what happens is you start to find people connecting to you, specifically you, right? And that's sometimes the hardest thing we face in digital marketing, is we're like, well, I need more engagement. Nobody's clicking on my thing. Nobody's buying my thing. And in a digital age where there's a lot of noise, it's not your fancy headline necessarily that gets them to click or buy. It's that they feel connected to you. And in order for that to happen, you can't have these one-off sound bites and have them never hear from you again. You have to be consistent in your message. And this is why I love the service we created, because I interview you, or my team interviews you about your important work, your message. And then we produce that show for you. All you have to do is show up and let us talk to you, interview you, and record it. and we take care of the rest, right? And that's what makes that so beautiful, because now it's your message going out to the world for people to find you, hear you, follow you. And now you get to actually not only create that connection, but nurture that connection, okay? And that becomes, here it is, we'll start to wrap it up here. That becomes the staging point, the launch pad for your groundswell in life. If you have reached a spot in your career where you've been there and done it, you have success, and now you're like, okay, I have success. My soul is stirring for something more. There is more important work for me to do in the world. Right. Well, when you start to scale that message, you create a groundswell of impact in the world. In order for you to continue or sustain and scale that impact, that groundswell, you're going to need consistent connection with your people. And the easiest way I've found to do that is through a show where all you have to do is show up and be interviewed, and we produce the show for you. That's why we created the service. So we're going to end with this. The way for you to scale your message and your important work and have people choose you is to, I believe, have a show. Okay. If you'd like to learn more about how do I create a show, what kind of service do we have for our clients, you can go to mygroundswell.com. I put that link in the comments, mygroundswell.com, and learn more about how we do that for you. Thanks, gang. Keep your eyes open for our new show called Important Work, where Bob Burg is one of our guests, among other amazing guests, all designed to help you spread your important work in the world. That is our mission here at Groundswell, is to help you create your groundswell in the world. So until I talk to you next, see ya.